The International Championship Snooker, Zhao Xintong against Yize over the best of 17 frames. It's Zhao to get us underway, and it's hello to Neil Foltz.
Contrasting semi-finals with Higgins, Maguire, you know, establishment of players, I guess, and good pals, I'm sure. For years we've spoken about the Chinese force in snooker.
He's still only 22 years of age, Yize, when he played Lei Pei Fan at the Scottish Open in the final.
One.
It's a better shot than it looks to roll up like that. You've got to down against Judd Trump, who Judd wasn't playing all that well, but you felt that he was seemingly in control, and the way he just came back and the way he continued yesterday. Well, that'll do. Queuing from there, nobody enjoys. Get out of there. With the balls over the pocket, he didn't quite know how to go about that. I think he kind of hoped something would go into the left corner. Certainly one to get up early and tune into, wasn't it?
Wow.
And that was a miracle how he got out of there. The gap between the...
Zhao's biggest test on his way to the semi-final. And then, of course, Selby, having trailed 4-2, finished very strongly. It was always going to be just a matter of away from the table with all of the paraphernalia that goes with becoming a world champion. Kyron Wilson very much an exception to that rule last season. But clearly now beginning to...
What
he's done. He's a lovely player, isn't he? Beautiful player to watch him. He really is. The table. He's got some beautiful touches. The feature of his world tool, you know, for a relatively young player. I know that he's been around a while. Previously UK champion. I think he's the best I've ever seen at that. Getting the balls open almost every time.
37.
And on those occasions during that World Championship run when he was tested, and he was, when the question was asked, he came up with the answers. And in the end, he took care of the two greats back-to-back, O'Sullivan.
Well, I think the point is he was tested more in qualifying than he was at the Crucible itself. See another qualifier win. For years we've been speaking about Terry Griffiths in '79 and Sean Murphy in 2005. Just. But that'd be assuming that he wasn't going to pot any more balls. Zhao Xintong in this break, which seems likely. That's a great start to the match. That run of 12 frames.
And Zhao has constructed this break very nicely. Found it.
75.
We've had 150 centuries in this tournament. A couple of maximums, one in qualifying, one here, of course, by Zach Surety. No century from Zhao Xintong, but 82 will do very nicely to start this left corner pocket. So frame 2 of 8 in this session. 9 is the target for a place in the International Championship final in a meeting with either John Higgins or up in Glasgow. Maguire actually leads that head-to-head 11-10, but he hasn't beaten Higgins for a decade, which went Zhao Xintong's way. But both very different players now than they were a couple of years ago.
Well, but he plays with a lot of grace and style, is the point I was making earlier. I think Yize has got two, if you like, ways of playing. You know, he can be fantastic. You know, being able to find a way of winning when he's not playing well. That's one of the most difficult things in the game for anybody, actually.
Otherwise, it's qualifying.
That's quite a big mistake, isn't it, that he's made there? And if it's anything to do with the first frame, you'll see.
What?
I think he tried to move the red on the black spot there. He doesn't really want to leave that red on the right of the table where the easy up and down is available. So he's played it well. He's covered that right-hand red. And he's left, find a route back up the table. It's quite a good effort. Yes, he had a bit of a kiss. It was slightly heavy-handed, but it was still a good shot, actually.
What?
Fabulous pot. Is he on anything? Not very much. High value. This is the problem, isn't it? You know, Yize is a brilliant long potter, but the man he's playing. Oh, well, that was a big mistake. He put left-hand side on that.
What?
But I think he has no option there unless he could. Yes, pink goes to right corner. That was well played. Very expansive backswing, which is terrific. But of course, occasionally he'll just slow down through the ball and decelerate, and that's when things don't. You're going to have to make something of this, and he's going to do it without the use of the black at this stage. But he can still chip away.
He won the World Under-21 Championship when he was just 14 years of age. Turned pro 2 years later.
22.
And of course last season, when he was down and out and then put together that 5-frame burst before Robertson just about got over the line. Scotty. And that sorts illustrates the point that Neil was making, that when he is his best and his second best, but that's something he can clearly address. All of the talent is there. All of the potential is.
31.
Yes, and he's got some confidence as well, and of course that is a wonderful thing to go with it. And potentially still improving, of course. The fact that he is just 22 years of age and, you know, got a great future in the game. Sometimes to learn a lot more about the game, certainly in defeat than winning matches.
And that's important, actually. all of the very best in this sport have a certain swagger when they're in full flow, and I think
That'll do, though. Those little delicate shots are the ones where you can figuring that it's not so much his problem because he's closing in on winning the frame. So he'll just devour shots like that, doesn't he? Yeah, he called a close-up there of the red and the black, but of course that was the issue he had. When he potted the initial red, he could only play on the black. And he was actually tying it up. So it is one snooker, but how he's going to get it until he gets the black freed. Well, it is a snooker, but you'd like to think the target with 3 reds.
Foul.
Goodness me, that was a very poor effort, wasn't it?
And that's equally surprising. Fairly routine shot by. But now the red has gone in, it should be over.
Yeah, but there was a moment where having made such a poor escape.
So that should put paid.
Yize 7 in the frame.
Who remains in his chair, so...
One.
Sheng really got to see if the pink will respot. If not, it goes underneath the spot.
8.
Yes, and this is the moment where he could open everything up. I mean, he could play on a loose red and just chip away again. Things might just dry up a little bit now that he's the wrong side of the blue. Yes, he'll clearly have it. Don't see why he had to play that shot. Not sure about the shot on the blue as to whether that was really worth going around the angles. I don't think he knew quite how he didn't hit a red there. How did he get through that?
Zhao Xintong.
The chance to turn frame 2 around. And now a chance once again for Wu to get in.
Six. 7.
Well, this time he had no choice but to go into them, built by the bulk colours. So the frames have taken a strange
12.
configuration of balls, actually. Yize are just doing the better of the two, because the break.
One.
But that's controlled pretty nicely. I think maybe the sort of fragmented frames of the two players perhaps suit Yize better. He's a real potter. No, hang on a minute. This is not right, is it? It's not. It didn't reach. And there's the point.
It's been a pretty error-strewn frame, in truth, from both players. Zhao having made the safety error just now with the...
7. 13.
Screwing into the black and the red.
19.
He's played it ever so well. And he'd like to play on the pink from this red, clearly to get the red freed up next to it. He read along the cushion for a left-hander. Nice shot. Nice cannon. Things are beginning to take shape here.
Yize pinning his hopes on that awkward red on the side.
39.
Well negotiated. Position on it again here. This looks a terrific shot. That really is a good shot. Great vision to play it. Again, not overhitting balls, stroking it in.
From his opponent.
46.
Yeah, and it's a very poor mistake to make, wasn't it?
50.
And these have been taken very well. The red was certainly missable along the...
Yes, he was wrong side of the blue, but he knew that he had to roll it in. And Yize will be...
And a very nice clearance from Zhao Xintong to the pink. Had left the blue short of the left centre pocket. Just the frame before the first interval. A further 5 to be played in this first session.
It wasn't even that thin. Contact required, actually. Surprised he missed it altogether.
One.
That's a good shot. He just managed to find a way. If it goes underneath its spot somewhere. Now let's see. Could be a bit of a challenge.
8. 16.
That's very nicely done. And
24.
this is where he looks very confident. He's got a real bounce around.
From Zhao Xintong. Quite a blunder on the safety that looked on the face of it pretty routine, but to miss it altogether, which meant the cue ball came.
Yes, I agree with you. It was an odd one that he would miss that altogether for no apparent reason. But he'd like to have the shot again.
$40.
Well, how about that for a shot? That has worked out beautifully. This could be a very quick frame, this one, because the chance to win it is here and now.
$55.
Well, it's a great way to respond to the disappointment of so just looking for one more red and it'll be on as
I think the opening shot where he got on the pink to right middle was a very good shot, very subtly played.
when he was playing safe from Bork. Missed the reds altogether by quite a margin actually, and the cue ball.
78. $86.
Well, that was, and this is really is where he's good. I mean, the form is. Judd was not at his best either, but
93.
he sort of unleashed a spell of. Same yesterday against Barry Hawkins. A match like this, of course, against the world champion.
99.
But what a player he is! What a talent he is!
Just like his opponent. He could get on with it, attack the balls. Wonderful long potters. Still a bit rough around the edges, yes. Came close last.
Well, he's deliberately played all these shots from. This time he's accepted it. He's got to walk round and play the pink from the other side. So just a sensational break this year.
Fabulous. 9 is the target for a place in the final.
Wow.
Slightly sloppy shots, including a safety shot in frame 4, which was the reason he sat out a break of 140. This time the cue ball lost, and as mentioned earlier, it was a feature.
15.
Wow, that is just fantastic. I think we can all say this is going to be a very enjoyable match to watch. You know, the new
21.
Xintong now 28. And both different in their styles, you know, it's all about touch and
7.
long backswing, gets through the ball delightfully. Maybe hasn't got the same sort of to drop it in. Didn't expect him to miss it, quite honestly, and the shot before,
which allowed Zhao enough points to pinch it, but immediately missed with the rest, and has done so again.
It's a nice safety shot, and he's certainly. But there was a route. So he got in Zhao Xintong, what looks to be a very... May have had a little idea to sneak the red past the black as well.
One.
I mean, he can score heavily on what's left, but of course, the red and the black do make things difficult where they're placed.
Four.
And although he lost heavily to Neil Robertson, who was sensational in that match with 4 centuries, 2 of them 1-4-6 breaks, acknowledged afterwards that he was some player with a big future, and that has very much been borne out by what we've seen since.
17.
Yes, I made the point earlier that with the black where it is, he couldn't take reds and blacks, clearly, without the red and the black coming into play. The fact that he took the yellow with the very first colour was suggesting that he just couldn't. For now, Yize can only pot what's in front of him, see where it leads.
38. $45.
The one thing that Zhao Xintong did not want from Yize to see him get on a roll, because we've seen this match-up today.
52.
Now, has he got an angle here? Has he gone far enough? Hard to see how that cannon was actually going to bring the red out. I think that was a good shot. Didn't do anything fancy. It just didn't. Yize scored. It's not a great shot, but that's such a poor shot. I mean, it's unbelievably poor. You know, trying to get behind the...
2 big errors from Zhao Xintong in this frame. He missed the black with the rest when he was in. Although Zhao has made a couple of very good breaks himself, he's also made quite a few key errors, which has allowed his opponent to edge in front.
10.
Yeah, I mean, Zhao Xintong, that's not really his style. He's going to come out and try and do
13.
to Yize what's been done to him now. Wu looks extremely confident.
17.
He's bounding around the table.
He has that intimidating air about him when he's playing like this. Oozing self-belief
8.
and threatening to get on top of this semi-final. This one frame advantage. Only their second meeting. And a very big one. Goodness me, hit the wrong red.
Yeah, he did. He tried to hit the red and pot it.
And with all that in mind, that was
1.
very well cued. Well, you saw the black just catching the jaw on its way to the pocket, and they don't drop.
1.
Well, he just couldn't get far enough up the table. Well, what's happened here?
Foul.
So Zhao Xintong doesn't pay the price for inadvertent.
Wow, that was thin. That was thin.
Zhao Xintong. 1.
So Zhao Xintong's struggles continue.
1. Eight.
So is there a chance here for Yize to take it? And things can happen very quickly with Yize, the way he... I can see what he tried there. He tried to just land him behind the green. He's so much better at that sort of a shot, though, isn't he, when he can really deliver that cue right through the ball.
Foul.
Problem was there, coming in at that angle, there wasn't the widest target to hit. Pink was on his spot. But another frame which could be stolen.
here's an opportunity.
1.
Like his opponent, lethal from long range when he's playing well.
Nine.
Strange shot to have to play, wasn't it? Because, you know, he's got the... Didn't pot. It looked like he'd missed the pot there, but as you saw from the other view, the red was not. But as you can see, he's one of these players. He comes to the table with a view. There's a gap between the blue and pink here. Oh, goodness me. He's done a world of damage, surely.
One.
Of course, the blue going on the pink spot here doesn't want to allow it to get in the way of anything.
Seven.
Doesn't have to concern himself with that awkward red up towards Bork. Well, he is a poise.
14. Punt.
Yeah, I think the scoreline is completely fair. Still plenty of time, but of course he needs to ensure this session doesn't slip away from him, which I think it could do. The way it's going, you know, he could lose the next 2 frames. That was a snooker that was never going to trouble him. I suppose there's also just a glimmer. So I suppose you can't write it off. Although that is not going to really trouble anybody.
One.
And the comfort of knowing that he can't be worse. But on the balance of play, that would be a very disappointing result for Wu. He'll be eyeing...
9. 12. Fault. Yize 12.
That's a strange way to end the frame. They decided to knock the pink in, even though...
With either John Higgins or Stephen Maguire, who are in action tomorrow. Well, that's another shocker, really.
You know, you've got to hit very thin on that red. Hitting it about quarter ball like that was always going to leave it available to the opposite middle.
Seven.
That's a... It looked like a good kick.
Yize 7.
Yeah, pretty horrible shot, wasn't it, using the spider. Needs a strong frame just to restore a bit of confidence, which may have ebbed away a little in this session.
It's another terrific pot.
1.
Cue ball a little close to the side cushion. He would like to have been on the blue to attack it and go into. Just the last few shots have been so difficult for him to get on the next ball.
Yize 7.
Playing that last shot particularly well. Get the feeling this is a very big frame. It'll be the start of a possible comeback from Zhao Xintong. Just had one match previously between this pair, and Zhao Xintong won 5-3 in the German Masters.
If he could get out of this session at 4-all, I think Zhao would feel absolutely elated, because he has struggled since taking a 2-1 lead. That is a terrific bit of cueing, particularly given that he has struggled in the last 3 frames.
Should he miss it, he was doing lots of damage. So now, what an opportunity to just restore the viewpoint that he's lost the last 3, all of which he's had opportunities to win.
Something. $25.
He's going to have to make this count. Well, there's your confirmation that he did go, and that's what he initially played, and he just overdid it on that shot.
It always looked a little high, so a reprieve for Zhao.
$7.
So the top red, big things to win the frame at this visit. Finishing top side on the pink to play pink directly into the reds. Don't think he meant to clip the top red before hitting the... But he might well be very soon after that shot. Nice recovery, well controlled.
34.
Exactly what Zhao Xintong needed, just to steady from his point of view. But he's taken these nicely to convert his superiority in this session now by winning the final frame to take a 2-frame cushion for when they come back at 11:30 UK time. Made a fine 61 break in the 3rd frame, then rather went missing for the next 3, but there goes the cue ball. Hopefully no one's injured. Zhao Xintong back in business then. To a 2-frame cushion going into the resumption. 4-3 up.
Well, that's a shot he knocked a lot of at Sheffield. Now, didn't leave it safe, of course. Of course, the pot's always got to be taken seriously on those. A lot of your thoughts go into. So, a decent safety shot required, especially against this man. You can't leave him anything. Oh my goodness, what a shot. And Zhao Xintong went to great efforts to leave that cue ball on the cushion. This is where he is incredibly dangerous. It's a great opportunity, isn't it, to carve out a
21.
He's already made breaks of when they came back.
Well, as you can see, he's a bit low on the black, which means he's probably going to have to attack the reds here. Well, he hasn't missed the pot this time, but the break is very much over.
A useful as even. Didn't want that cannon.
No, that's a bad error. And caught the Yize, who was very annoyed that he didn't make more for that previous chance, has got an even better opportunity. Hard to think he won't get the frame one at this visit.
He's already beaten the world #1, Judd Trump, and last season's he'll be very motivated to make the most of this chance to kill this frame off and lead 5-3.
Well, he's tried to play that sort of screw with their right hand.
Just pushing the black closer to the top cushion, so 2 scoring.
Play a meaningful safety shot, and that might be the better option here. Well, it's okay. He kind of trying to set. Yeah, it's quite a dangerous little passage of play for Yize because wow, what about this? So this is a big moment in the session.
One.
The one relatively safe ball is no longer going to be safe, but it's a great pot. Oh, what a shot that is. What a shot. Where's he? World-class shot there. And now, doesn't it look a very different complexion?
What a beautiful shot that was. Perhaps the best he's played all session. The action he got on the cue ball.
Yes, and now he's got himself into this position. Convert it, because he's put himself very much in the frame here.
Something.
A lot of frames still to be played, of course, whoever wins this frame, but it just feels it would.
25. $33.
Place to deliver the clearance, but Zhao has proved time and again that he can handle that pressure. He did so superbly.
I think that's the point, though, isn't it? You're absolutely right. I don't think the pressure is the issue at all with him. Just a few little lapses today, I think, in his game, but
47.
And Yize will be sitting in his chair fuming, I think, because he had 2 scoring chances in this frame. He's been the better player. The numerical advantage to back that up.
54. 57. 61.
a little too far. But
66.
this feels a huge contribution.
This for 4 all. And in it goes to set the seal on a fascinating session of snooker.